Yo, Adam here, hope you're well. In this week's video, I'm going to be talking about picture profiles, colour grading, and generally how I achieve the kind of look I want from my films. People in the comments and on Facebook asking for this quite a lot recently, so here you go. Also, I do shoot on Sony's, so if you don't use them, this might not be the video for you. Maybe go and check out one of the others on my channel. Okay, so it all starts in camera with the picture profiles. Straight into the menus. The first tab, the camera tab, over to number 5, right down to picture profile there. So you go into here, and in terms of picture profiles, I shoot in picture profile 1. It would default to picture profile off, but I have it set to the first one, and then if I click right across there, here's my sort of custom tweaked settings. So the black levels I have on -12. That starts at 0 and it goes all the way up to +15, but I have it set to -12, and it just intensifies the blacks, pushes the shadows enough, and it kind of just intensifies the shadows and the darkened areas in the shot. So the gamma level I have on Cine 1, black gamma just default, range middle, level 0, knee auto default, don't touch any of that. Colour mode is movie, I think that's the default setting as well. Now saturation I've changed to -2, it just gives it that more sort of flatter, sort of elegant look that I can play with in post if I need to. Colour phase 0, just again default. I don't touch any of that stuff, and that's it. So the main ones are -12 on the blacks, Cine 1 for gamma, movie colour mode, -2 saturation, and that's my sort of custom picture profile 1. And I've also got that set to custom button 1 as well, but that's for another video for another day, and I'll just shoot the whole day like that. Okay, so next job, obviously the post-production. So I'm into my final cut here. This is a wedding that I worked on back in earlier this year, back in February, and everything was shot in that picture profile 1 with my custom settings. So for colour grading, I use a plugin called Film Convert, which you can see over here. Film Convert, I'll link it in the description below, and it's a really great colour grading film emulation plugin. Basically a kind of drag and drop instant colour grade, so you select a clip and you can literally just drag it over and drop it on a clip, and it'll give you some kind of grade. I've got like a preset saved group of settings over here that I've used for all my clips. So I've found the settings that I like, I've saved them in a preset, and now for every wedding I just drag that preset onto each clip. But from scratch, what I would do, I've got an ungraded clip here, and that was shot in picture profile 1. It was in the evening time, so the sky is a bit hazy at this point, and it's, you know, that's how I've seen it in camera, and it's not completely flat, it's not completely washed out, so I've still got a good idea of the kind of colours that I'm going to be getting in the camera. I've also got in my mind then that I'm going to be putting my preset over the top of it anyway, and then from scratch what I would do is drag this. I don't need 4K because it's all shot in 1080, but I drag over the Film Convert plugin, and you can see it's made a change straight away. So I've just dragged it straight on. It's nowhere near finished yet, but basically when you drag that in the settings tab over here, I just want to go to colour controls and open that, and it will bring up this side menu. And this is, again, this is a feature of the Film Convert plugin. You can tell it exactly what camera you've got, what model. So Sony A7S Mark II, and I use Cine 1. Going back to the picture profile settings that I put in camera before, I have it set to Cine 1, so that's what I set it as here. And you can see it changing as I'm doing that. I might just boost the saturation back up a little bit here if I want to, just a touch. Obviously I dropped it down in my picture profile setting, so I can bring it back here a little bit. I could change the mid-tones and the colours here, and it starts to look, you know, a little bit more natural there. if I wanted to, but I'll leave it as it is for now. So basically what I do for my preset, I normally drop the exposure down a little bit to maybe minus 0.1 or but it depends on the exposure from the shot. So this one was I've underexposed it slightly on the shot anyway, so I'll only drop it to about 0.06 there. I always boost the temperature up a bit this side just to make it that little bit warmer looking. If you bring it this way, it's going to look cooler. This way makes it look a bit warmer, but I have it around about 5800 there-ish. Now these are kind of stock emulations that Film Convert provides, so I always have mine set on FJ Provincial 100, which as you can see has changed the shot there. And I like this one because it's a bit of a warmer looking shot. It brings out the colours a little bit, brings out the greens, especially for like an outdoors shot or a nice sort of countryside wedding. And then in terms of the intensity of the colour emulation, you can tweak that. So that's on 0, that's back as, you know, pretty close to the raw image itself, and then I can have it at 100%. I normally go around about the 80% mark, and the same with the curves. It's dropping those shadows, but I kind of have that around about the 80% mark as well. The grain I take down to around about 15. I still like to have a tiny little hint of graininess just to give it that kind of film look, but I don't want it overly grainy. All the rest of this stuff, 35mm full frame, GPU, this is just auto. I just leave it as it is. I don't mess with the LUTs or anything like that. So generally I'll just have the exposure just dropped slightly below 0, temperature tweaked slightly up, Provincial 100, drop these to around about the 80% mark, drop the grain down, and that's pretty much done. I'm quite happy with how that's looking already. Obviously you can see the difference there from raw shot to, it's not a massive difference, but it's just warmed it up a bit, darkened the image a bit, and just draws attention to the highlights that little bit more. Yeah, so I'm quite happy with that. And then all I do then is, once I'll just go Command C to copy it, and then drag it over the rest of my clips, Command Shift V to paste attributes, and then I can just paste the Film Convert Pro effect over all those clips, click paste, and it would copy it over all these clips. Once I've got one of the clips that I'm happy with, I can copy and paste that over every clip in the whole film, and then I just normally just play it through and kind of tweak as I go. So I might see one and go, that you know, that's a bit dark. I might boost that one up a little bit, or drop it down. And once I've got the base grade set, I just go through tweaking each one as and when. But what I like about Picture Profile 1, or the settings that I use, it's kind of an all-rounder kind of image that I can shoot with indoor and outdoor. So obviously I've got all these sort of outside segments from later on in the evening, and then like during the drinks reception, I've got all these nice green sort of outdoor shots that look really nice once they're graded, but also sort of during the morning earlier on, obviously indoors with different lighting conditions. It's, once you grade it, it still looks quite nice and quite consistent, so I can shoot with it all day and it still comes out quite nice. So yeah, that's all I do. Use a bit of Film Convert. I've got my preset there, and that's it, job done. Just copy that onto every clip, have a skim through, adjust any that don't look quite right, you know, tweak the exposures here and there, but for the most part that's the colour grade done. And there you have it, that's everything. Please do leave me a comment if you've got any questions. As I say, there are links to the Film Convert plugin in the description below, as well as all the other kit I use. I hope you found this video useful. I will see you in the next one. Stop doing that. I keep going. Okay, so it all starts in camera with the picture profile. Picture profile.